on. So welcome to the show, Julie. Thank you for being on today. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always an honor to be able to get together with you and chat and reach out to our community and just all
Absolutely.
partner up and do good.
Absolutely. Yes. So Julie, just to get things started, tell us about what was your story about? What did you write about in our book, Reinvent Yourself?
So, when we did the first book, the book with the 10 OGs, my story was about turning pain into purpose. Because we wanted to talk about something that we had to face in life and how it affected us, but then how we used that to maybe make ourselves a stronger person, or how to turn that pain into purpose. So that's what I wrote about. Is I wrote about a tragedy that happened in our lives and how we used that to just kind of turn things around and hopefully help other people out. There was a time in our life where we thought we were invincible. Um, we thought that nothing bad would happen to us. And then one day, all of that changed. My daughter was just driving. She and her boyfriend were just cruising down the road. They stopped to make a left hand turn. She had her turn signal on. And the lady behind her just never saw that because she was more focused on her cell phone. Her phone was in front of her. She had been texting back and forth. And she just didn't see my daughter and her boyfriend stop to make a left hand turn. And she plowed into the back of their car, pushed the kids into oncoming traffic, and they didn't come home that day. So that was our tragedy that happened November 13th, 2019.
Wow.
And, when things like that happen in our life, we have choices. We can either just really, really slip into depression and let that consume us, or we can face the tragedy. We can work through all of the different stages of the grief, and then we can learn from that and heal from it as best we can. But then use that also to help other people who have experienced something similar. Um, and what we have noticed over the years is back then, a lot of our friends, they had never experienced anything like that. But since then, several of them have. And we are the people they reach out to, whether it happens to them or it happens to one of their loved ones. They feel comfortable enough to reach out to us to say, wow, you went through a lot. Like, how did you handle that? And what advice can you give me? So
Wow.
that's what we wrote about in the book, was just what happened to us, how we dealt with it, and how we continue to turn the pain into purpose to make some changes in our community for good.
Yeah, yeah. That's really some powerful stuff that you just shared with us right now because I can only imagine like how you must have felt, and with this happening to a very important person in your life. I mean, me being a father, I mean, I can only imagine. And like you said, we feel like we're invincible. Like we almost like sometimes even take things for granted. I think where we're just like, it's another day. Like everybody's good, and you just never think that it could happen to you. And to hear somebody like yourself where it does happen, I think it helps not just the people that are going through it right now, but even people like myself to appreciate life more and to say, wow, like, man, how often do we just like take for granted that we are here, first of all? And
Oh,
and
absolutely. Yeah.
you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. That's the example that you show, Julie, that I really admire about you. I've known you for God, I think like 2, 3 years, maybe. I don't know. It's time flies. But ever since I met you, I was so inspired and moved by your story of wow, this woman, despite going through that such tragedy, it kept moving forward. But tell us a little bit about like during that time when it did just happen, like how did you deal with it? Were you able to overcome it like right away, or was it a challenge? Tell us a little bit about like how it was after after that happened.
Okay. So, I mean, initially when you get hit with the tragedy, I think like most people, we also were just in shock. Like, no way, this did not really happen. Like, this is just a bad dream, right? Like, we're going to go to bed, we'll wake up tomorrow, and this will all just be a bad dream, and we'll just go on with life and everything will be fine. Um, but when we went to bed and woke up the next day, we realized it wasn't a bad dream. Like this really happened. So now we had to adjust our life to cope with it. Like you just have all those decisions to make. Like, ooh, do I stay in bed? Do I stay on the couch? Again, slipping into the depression is probably the easiest thing to do. Um, but you really have to do what works for you. So in my case, what worked for me was surrounding myself with friends, surrounding myself with family members that were supportive, and distancing myself from the people that were not supportive or that were negative, or just the people that just kind of brought us down or played into the depression. That was not working for me, so I just kind of had to distance myself from those people and surround myself with people who were supportive. We had so many people that introduced us to other people who had been through something similar, so having them kind of guide us and just show that extra love, that really helped too. And just you got to So one of my doctors had said to me, you have choices. When you're feeling depressed, you can sit on the couch or you can get outside and get fresh air and get exercise. Your body is craving that fresh air. It's craving the sunshine. Get the exercise. So don't let that couch suck you in. Don't let your bed suck you in. So I just kind of kept thinking about that, like just stay outside, stay active, stay around positive influences. So that's what really helped us, and that's the advice I would give others is find your support group and just let them help you. And if people
Like,
are not being supportive, if they're being energy vampires, it is okay to distance yourself from them. I hear people say all the time, well, I don't want them mad at me. Or, um, I've known them for so long. Well,
mhm,
if they're not being kind to you and they're not being supportive, it's okay to distance yourself and find your people, the people that are going to help you and your family. Especially being a mom, I had kids looking up to me, and my kids were like looking up to me to be the rock, looking at me to be the guide. So I just kind of always had that in the back of my mind too. Like, I need to be a role model for my kids. They need to see me be strong. I mean, don't get me wrong, like there's days where you're going to let emotions get the best of you, and it's okay for kids to see that too because we are human, you know? I mean, it's okay to get emotional, it's okay to cry. Those are all God gave us so many different emotions, the anger, the sadness, the joy, and we do need to use all of those emotions. But there's really a time and a place um, to show those emotions and just make sure we're doing it in a healthy way.
like that. Yeah, definitely. You definitely dropped some gems right there. In wow, it just everything you talked about is so powerful and so helpful for people that are going through something similar to what you went through. And I mean, some people that maybe even lost something else in their lives. It could be all these tools that you just gave us of being surrounding yourself with people who support you. And I really love how some people went out of their way to even connect you with people that had been through something similar to that. So that way you could not feel alone in this, that you're like, you know what, other people have gone through it. What did they do, to overcome this? But then also setting boundaries with people that don't serve you, because unfortunately, man, it sounds like you had some people in that time that were negative and maybe not as supportive, or maybe they grieved even more than you. Who knows? I don't know. Like they were making it something that was more about them than to be there for you. I don't know what it was, but it sounds like there was just so many challenges there. And I really liked about how your friend or your doctor said that, hey, just get out and get some fresh air. Like just do something. Don't stay there. Don't stay sitting there or laying there and allowing this depression to take over you. And then, like you said, you have children that are still looking up to you, that still rely on you. So this was, yes, very unfortunate that you lost a child, but but then you saw, hey, I still have two kids that I still have to care for and be there for them. So
Exactly.
those, yeah, yeah. So for you, when do you think it was like, yeah, of course, you definitely haven't like you still get sad, and I know that you still like, miss your daughter, absolutely. But when was that shift where you were just like, you know what, I kind of need to do something where I can't stay in this sadness? Was there like a aha moment, or was there a moment where it just changed, or was it gradually? How did you do that?
So I think something that really helped me was somebody had reached out to me one day and they said, you really should help to raise awareness on the dangers of distracted driving. And there's an organization in town that's doing that, a nonprofit. I'm going to introduce you to the executive director of that nonprofit, and you guys should talk. And I don't know if it's a fit for you or not, but that might be some good distraction therapy for you. So that's when somebody introduced me to the executive director of Look Save a Life. And anyway, I chatted with him and we talked about different situations and how they were really doing a great job reaching out to the bicycle community. So, bicyclists who had lost their lives, they were so supportive of their families. So they had recruited me to serve on the board with them.
Mm,
And that's
cool.
that's kind of what gave me that first purpose. It
Wow.
got me out of the house. It got me out there around other people who had also experienced a tragedy. And then it made me feel like I was serving a purpose with preventing tragedies. So that was kind
Mm,
of cool.
wow.
So anyway, my daughter's name is Caitlin and her boyfriend is Paul. So Paul's mom did that with me too. So the two of us served on the board for Look Save a Life. And we did that for a while, and but then we both decided we kind of felt like hypocrites because neither one of us we don't ride bicycles. I've tried, and it's not pretty. So anyway, that's when we thought, well, why don't we branch out? Like, it's great that we're protecting bicyclists and we're helping that community, but there's so many other people on our roadways. There's people, there's pets, other drivers, pedestrians, everything. So why don't we expand and let's start protecting everyone on the roadways? And then that's where Phones Down Just Drive came from. Deborah and I started that, and that was April. This April it'll be 5 years. Feels like yesterday. I can't believe it's been 5 years since we started that.
Yeah.
But with that, like, we have just really taken off. We're partnered with law enforcement. We get into schools, we talk to students. Um, we just have a lot going on, and there's some really great things out there. Recently, I was awarded the Community Safety Award from the Pima County Attorney's Office. So that was pretty exciting. And then
Congratulations.
last weekend thank you. We were at Scoutchella for the Girl Scouts, the 90th anniversary for the Girl Scouts, and I was one of the 90 plus women of honor for that. So,
Nice.
people are noticing Phones Down Just Drive. And so many people reach out to me and they say, I never knew that it was against the law to hold my phone when driving, or maybe I knew about the law, but I just didn't think it pertained to me. And people reach out and say, because of you and your story, um, I'm I'm not touching my phone anymore. Like while I'm driving. So now I'm respecting the law, and I think that's pretty cool. So when we get those phone calls, or the text messages, I think that's pretty amazing because that
That is.
that says our message is powerful and people are listening to it.
That's
So
beautiful. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's beautiful. That this message, like you said, it's getting across, and I can feel your emotion that like it's definitely something that makes you really proud and happy because even though your daughter's not here, like in spirit, she still is here because she's probably saved lives because of it. Because of this awareness that she has brought. Now she's saving lives, because and it's going through you,
Absolutely.
so yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So when we go out to schools and we talk to kids, we usually do the pledge with them, like where we do this whole thing where we talk about, I promise, and I don't have it memorized and I don't have it in front of me.
It's
I
okay.
should have been better prepared, right? But we
It's all
talk
good.
about, like, basically I promise to drive and focus and not be distracted and not hold my phone in my hand. And then we pass out these little bracelets, the pledge bracelets, and we tell people
Mm,
put it on your right wrist because when you're driving and your phone goes ding, you're going to reach for the phone with your right wrist, and
Mm,
then you see it and you're like, I know, nope, don't touch it, let it go.
that's cool.
So,
Yeah.
things like that. I just had a meeting this week with the chief of police for Tucson Police Department, and
Okay.
we're partnering with them. They're getting our magnets on their cars pretty soon. I mean, April is when the Sheriff's Department, Oro Valley Police Department, TPD, they're all going to put our magnets on their cars just to really emphasize um, respecting National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. So these partnerships really help too. It just kind of establishes some credibility when you get these awesome
Absolutely.
jurisdictions that are supporting you. Um,
Absolutely.
we we have our flyers that we pass out at events, and it's pretty cool. The different law enforcement agencies have asked us for flyers so that they too can help distribute them. So at routine traffic stops, they're going to start passing out our flyers. DPS, Department of Public Safety, they're already distributing them out there. So
Nice.
anyway, it's just great having the support. We have some really great volunteers that volunteer at our booths at different events. We just did the downtown parade of lights, and we really had fun with that. That's just a real positive night, getting out there, spreading some joy.
I love it. Good stuff. Well, Julie, tell us, how can people support Phones Down Just Drive if they would like to get involved or donate, or how can they support you, and give us your contact information so people can support.
So Phones Down Just Drive is super active on Facebook. So that's
Okay.
probably the best place to go to know what's going on in the near future. We post
Okay.
all of our upcoming events on Facebook. We try to post them on the website too. But that one we're not as good as keeping up with current events. So go to Facebook, Phones Down Just Drive. Make sure to
I just
follow
put it in the
us.
comment section, by the way, so they can check it out.
Oh, very cool. So just go on there, check it out, and make sure to follow us so you can keep updated. This weekend, we have a super busy weekend. Friday night, we have a Kendra Scott fundraiser event at La Encantada Mall. I mean, what woman or what young girl, teenagers, teenagers, they love their Kendra Scott. So we'll be there in person 4 to 6 p.m. on Friday this week, December 12th. And now another partnership we just developed is with MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Okay.
Distracted
Wow.
driving, drunk driving, they kind of go hand in hand.
Right.
Although studies have shown distracted driving is about 6 times more dangerous than drunk driving, believe it or not.
Wow.
So we're participating in the walk at the U of A Mall Saturday morning. It's a 5K. So if people want to come out, stop by our booth, say hi. And
Nice.
then Sunday, all day, we have a fundraiser at Mod Pizza on Ina and Thornydale. All day, just go in there, mention Phones Down, Just Drive. And that's a good one. They give 25% back to Phones Down,
Really.
Just Drive.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
yeah, I think the best is just go on Facebook, follow us, and that way you keep abreast of what's going on. We'd love to get people volunteering with us. We just did a huge event, Bougie Purse Bingo, where people
Yeah.
played bingo and won expensive purses or name brand purses. And that
Right.
was a sellout thing. We have a poker fundraiser on February 22nd. So all of the
Nice.
details are on Facebook. So I can't encourage you enough to go on Facebook. And our email is info@phonesdownjustdrive.org. Website, www.phonesdownjustdrive.org. And my phone number is probably the quickest and simplest way, text or call, 520-307-1013.
1013. Perfect. Awesome. Cool. And then just Julie, just to close this out, what kind of advice would you give to anybody that is dealing maybe with a loss that they're going through right now, that maybe they're going through some tragedy, and it's been they lost a loved one or a friend. What advice would you give to those people right now?
Well, back to the couch, get off the couch, get outside, get the fresh air, get the vitamin D. Excuse me, I've been teaching school all day, so my voice is in and out. Um, yelling at the kids, you know. No, they're just excited. It's the holidays and these kids are so full of
Right?
energy, you know. We
Yeah.
have to talk
Yeah.
over. So, there is a book that somebody gave me right after all of this happened. So many people didn't know what to do. You know, they wanted to make us feel better. So they gave us some really great gifts: flowers, jewelry, books, devotion books. Like, people are so creative. And I really, really appreciate all of that. One of the favorite books that was given to me was called Grieving at Christmas. So in the past, I bought several copies of this book. It's just this little tiny little book, cute little picture on the front. And so I bought a bunch of these books, and anyone that was struggling, I offered to give this book to them. So that's my
Mm.
gift to people. If you know of anyone who is struggling, they've lost a loved one, it's been a hard few years with COVID and everything. We've all lost loved ones, you know. But that little book really helped me to get through the holidays. The first, because remember, my daughter died November 13th. So a week later, we got hit with Thanksgiving. Right after that, we got hit with Christmas.
Right.
February 3rd was my daughter's birthday. So it was like boom, 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 like,
Yeah, yeah.
a roller coaster, you know? But that little book, Grieving at Christmas or Grieving at Christmas Time, something like that. Such a good book. So I'm going to put that offer out there again. If anyone wants a copy of that book, I would be more than happy to buy it for them and gift it to them.
Love it. Thank you, Julie. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for your time and for your wisdom and for your insights and for what you're doing. Yeah, you're definitely, I'm very proud of you. You've come a long way and you still continue to move forward. This purpose is definitely, I see it growing more and more. And, I'm really proud of you. And I'm sure that, your daughter is really proud of you. She's looking after you. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story with me. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, the listener and the person that's watching this video. And we will be seeing you on the next episode of Reinvent Yourself: Stories of Transformation. Have a great day. Peace.
Bye.